Hey guys, this is Sarah Elena. Welcome to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of living in Costa Rica. So although I love living here, I've been here for almost 9 years. It'll be 9 years this September. There's obviously some cons too. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about, my cons list. And maybe some of them will resonate with you, but we're going to take out the handy dandy iPad and the pencil. If you've seen some of my past videos, I like to write and just have visual things. So if you also want to pause this and go grab your own piece of paper, then feel free to do that as well. And we can kind of do this together. I think it's good to write out your pros and cons list. Just change the AC here. And that way you kind of know, what, just mentally. Again, a lot of this is just kind of like mental prep. And I think it's good for you to do anyways. So let's pull out our pen and paper or iPad or whatever you like to write on. Also, if you don't already know me, I help people with moving to Costa Rica. So gosh, we do everything A to Z, retreats, one-on-one assistance, scouting trips. I have a new podcast that came out. So you're gonna find everything that we do down in the link below in the description. And also, there will be a link for you to book a call. So if you have questions or if you are interested in perhaps working together, feel free to book that call. But I do ask, only book the call if you're serious about taking a scouting trip or you're really serious about actually moving. If you're not sure, that's not the right time to book a call with me, because there's a lot of other free stuff on this channel or everyone's channels. Gosh, there's so many resources out there for you to kind of get to that point where you're either sure that you want to take a scouting trip or you want to perhaps relocate. So then that would be the right time, because we want to respect everyone's time. So just wanted to get that out of the way, and now let's get into it. All right, here we go. We have our iPad out. I'm going to be writing along. I hope that you have your pen and paper with you or whatever you like to write with, and let's do this together. This is a good thing, I guess, for you to be writing out even definitely before you move, but also after you move. So if you've already moved, this can be a good thing for you to do, just to, again, remember your whys, remember your pros too, as you might be facing challenges when you're living here, because it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. I've discussed that plenty of times on this channel. So, okay, so let's make our pro list here. I can put cons over here. Again, these are my personal ones, so I want you to be thinking of your own. You should definitely be thinking of your own things. So one pro for me, I would say, is great food. Actually, yeah, we don't even want to call it good. We're going to call it great food. Great food, super healthy food here that I love. Of course, you can find pizza, you can find hamburgers. If you want to be unhealthy, you can find it. I eat them. I still eat pizza, I still eat hamburgers. But there's lots of options for great, really fresh fruits, vegetables. If you want to come and eat healthy, it's very easy to do that too. Another one I would say would be friendly culture. So friendly culture, just nice community. So I feel people here, so actually we just had one of our group meetings yesterday for people in our DIY, Move to Costa Rica class. And one of the participants in our program had the question, how do you find community? You talk about how community is so important. And gosh, for me personally, I feel like people here are so friendly. It's so easy to make friends. It'd be kind of hard not to make a friend here. I feel like the people really are very nice, whether they're Costa Rican or from another country. You just, more often than not, you're gonna run across really nice, open, happy people, which is great. So friendly culture, great community. For me, that's really important. For me, great weather. Move this over there. Yeah, great weather all year round. So I love the rainy season. If you watched any of my videos of me talking about rainy season, I love the rainy season. So for me, that's the longer part of the year for me. So, and then if it's not rainy season, then it's just sunny. So cool. So for me, great weather all year round. And that's kind of what Costa Rica has, either rainy season or dry season. No matter where you go in the country, it's going to differ. The temperatures are going to vary a bit. If you want to be in the 70s a lot, you can be in the 70s a lot. If you like to be in the 80s, if you want to be in the 90s, if you want to, I guess there's places you could be in the 60s too. You can get a little bit chillier, for Costa Rica. So yeah, great weather all year round. More laid back way of living. So I get this a lot, I hear this a lot as to why people are moving. I'm sorry. You know, it's actually kind of hard for me to like write and talk at the same time. I don't know if you've ever tried to do that, but it's not easy. So yeah, more laid back way of living. So I hear a lot of people say, oh, you know, I don't want to be in this hustle and bustle, go, go, go constantly. I want to be able to just sit back, you know, enjoy life a little bit more and just have a more laid back way of living. Also, if you guys hear background noise, I apologize. There's, I don't know, construction going around in my community. So it is what it is. Sounds like someone's like hitting a piece of metal right outside of my door too. All good. Again, hey, that's what you got to be more laid back, the Pura Vida attitude, right? You just got to work with it. Okay, and then I would say for me, a big positive is lower cost of living for me. Of course, if you want to come to Costa Rica and make it real expensive, you can. But I think for me to have the exact lifestyle that I have right now, it would cost me a lot more to have this lifestyle in the United States for me. So for me, I'm going to put, you know, lower cost of living. And if you're not sure, then, you know, that would be, we can get into budgeting in another video. But lower cost of living, again, for me. These are all for me, but you start writing some of your pros. If you need to pause this and you don't want to hear me talking anymore, that's fine. I'm just talking about some of my pros and why I put them. Another one would be affordable healthcare. So I pretty much paid out of pocket for everything all these years, like pretty much everything. Even though I have my permanent residency, I'm in the official Caja, you know, the Costa Rican healthcare system. If my daughter's got something going on or if I'm sick, I just pay private and I go private. So for me, that's still been really affordable just to pay out of pocket. So I've pretty much paid out of pocket all of these years, for the most part. And I do have a very like good comprehensive insurance plan. I think I got it about 2 years ago, and I haven't really had to use it, but if something major happens, like we are fully covered. So that's kind of more just for my peace of mind. And I have like $1,000 deductible. So again, I'm still kind of going to pay out of pocket when little things come up, but overall it's still really affordable. And even like the major plan, it's $200 something a month that I pay, and I just pay every 6 months. So for me, the healthcare is affordable. Another pro, there's just beauty everywhere. So like, you know, I drove out of my community the other day and there's macaws in this almond tree, like right across the street, like pretty darn close. I tried to get a good video of them. I would have had to get out of my car and walk over there, and I didn't want to disturb them, but I get monkeys back here. I mean, there's just beauty everywhere. Trees and flowers, and it's just a really beautiful place. So for me, I love it. It's amazing. Beauty everywhere. That's a big pro for me. And for me, I know this is kind of a funny one. Feels like a bit, sorry, I'm so bad at writing, of a time machine. So for me, living here in a way feels a little bit like a time machine. I know that might sound kind of weird, but we're a little bit behind the times here in a lot of things. And I love that. I love it. I'm like, let's just stay behind. Let's stay behind the times. Here goes my fiance. Let's stay behind the times. And I don't know how else really I can explain it. Maybe some other people who've moved, if you want to chime in the comments. But for me, yeah, something kind of do feel like a little bit like being in a time machine. I'm a little out of date on things. Maybe I'm just happily ignorant on a lot of things that are going on. But yeah, but with some balance, I still have an idea of what's going on in the world, so that's good. All right, so now we're gonna move over to our cons, because again, we have to be realistic here. So if you're not done writing down your pros, you can write a longer list. This is just for the sake of the length of this video. I'm just gonna kind of, cap it off here, and I'm gonna move over to the cons. So if you wanna pause this, you can pause it, and I'm gonna move over to again, these are my cons, and then you have to make your own. So, okay, so for me, my first con would be, sometimes the heat really does actually get to me because I live by the beach. Again, so if you don't want the heat, you can live up in the mountain, or you can be in the Central Valley, or you can be in other parts of Costa Rica that you're not going to have that crazy, you're not going to have the beach climate. So that's possible. So for me, sometimes the heat can be a little bit of a con. I get a little tired of it, but man, I would just love to have like a nice spring breeze come through here. We had one day like that I felt maybe less than 2 weeks ago, and it was so magical. It was so magical. I was so happy about it. I loved it. It was my Mother's Day cup from my daughter's school from last year. Okay, so the heat would be a con for me. Okay, sometimes the roads, the roads overall, I would say are pretty good, especially where I live too. But, you know, the roads, that can be a con. Where I lived in some other places in the past, sometimes the roads were a big con because some of them were definitely really damaging to my car. Some of them became inaccessible during the rainy season, like I couldn't even use that road anymore. So for me in the past, the roads were a con sometimes, but not so much anymore. Again, that depends where you're choosing to live. Okay, and then not having some creature comforts. So for me, it's been really hard. I can't spell creature. Okay, sorry. I need to not write and type. Okay. So for me, I miss certain foods from North America, like Chinese food. I just want like a good combination lo mein, a nice egg drop soup, a real crab and cheese wonton, like a real one that's stuffed with cream cheese. I don't ask for much in life, but that's what I would really love. So that's one of my creature comforts that I've never really truly found here that I've thought was amazing. That's okay. And I would say, you know, well, some people think it's a pro, so the slower pace can also be a pro, but in some cases it can be a little bit of a con. So I'm okay with it though. Like, I guess it's not a big con for me. It's not something that bothers me too much, but sometimes the slower pace can be a little bit challenging when you're trying to get certain things done. So it can be a little harder to get certain things done. It can be harder to get things done. Oops, things came off there, but you know what I mean. If you're watching this, you know what I'm writing. And then I would say another weird thing is just like sometimes things seem a little bit backwards sometimes. Like things are just kind of done in a weird backwards way. A little backwards. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. If anyone else is watching this that lives here, maybe you kind of know what I mean, but some things just don't make sense. Like administrative things, or maybe when you're trying to do something in particular, it just doesn't make sense. But that's where you see, hey, this is not the country that you came from. You got to accept the way that things are done here, and you just got to get used to them. And that's okay too. And then rainy season conditions, which is rainy season, is my favorite. It is my favorite. So rainy season is my favorite time of year. I'm not bagging on the rainy season at all. It's my absolute favorite. But sometimes the conditions can be a con, you know, depending. Sometimes, you know, if you have a tropical storm, in the past, one of my houses that I was renting had a little bit of flooding. Like there can be some cons. I remember that yard that I lived where the house had flooding, like turned into a lake. It looked like it just turned into like a lake. It was like a big mushy grass soup out there. So there can be some cons to the rainy conditions, but overall, I love it. I love rainy season. And the last one I'm going to put, again, these are in no particular order, not seeing family as often, you know, maybe missing certain big events, missing weddings, missing births of children, you know, things that happen in life. So yeah, that would be a con for me too. I mean, at least for me, a pro is Costa Rica is not that far. Like I'm from Virginia, it's not that far. But a con would be not just being able to pop over there anytime that I feel like it, you know? So yeah. So this was my little list. It was just, again, if you want to take yours out, pause this video, like do your own little list. It's good for you just to be kind of aware and what are some of the pros that you're going to face, what are some of the cons, and yeah, and that's it. So if you did find this helpful, please definitely follow the channel and you can get more information. If you put the notification bell, that'll notify you when I have new videos coming out. I try to do 2 per week, usually on Saturday and Sunday now. What else? All the links down below that I mentioned before. If you want to book a call, definitely do so, but you know, only if you're really serious about taking some real next steps towards your goals here. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks again.